Peace be upon you, everybody. Let us now start recalling what we took before about comparing fractions. Comparing fractions means greater than, less than, or equal. We could have three different situations while comparing fractions. We could have fractions with the same denominator. For example, 3 over 10 and 2 over 10. We have here same denominator 10. This means the fraction with the greater numerator is considered greater. 3 over 10 is greater than 2 over 10. Or we could have fractions with the same numerators but different denominators. For example, 1 over 10 and 1 over 4. In this case, the fraction with the greater denominator is considered less than the fraction with the smaller denominator. For example, 1 over 10 is less than 1 over 4 because 10 is greater than 4. The third case is when having different numerators and denominators. In this case, we could unify the denominators. For example, 1 over 2, 3 over 5, different numerators and different denominators. Then we could we could change the denominators into a unified one, for example, by finding the least common multiple between 2 and 5, which is 10. Then 2 times 5 equals 10, and 1 times 5 equals 5. So the fraction this is 5 over 10. And this one, 3 times 2 equals 6, 5 times 2 equals 10, so it's 6 over 10. In this case, both fractions will have the same denominators but different numerators. Then the one with the greater numerator will be greater. Here 6 over 10 is going to be considered greater than the 5 over 10. Now let's go for a small application on what we took on a piece of paper. Try to represent by drawing these two fractions, but make sure to draw with the same units and then compare these two fractions, 3 over 5 and 1 over 2. You can apply something from your home by doing a pizza and trying to cut it into equal pieces. Two different pizzas, you can compare between them, the amount you ate, for example, or anything from your home. Now, how to simplify a fraction. We read this situation together and try to check how do we simplify fractions. Sammy ate 15 over 30 from the chocolate bar. However, his friend ate 20 over 45. Sammy and his friend said that they ate half of the chocolate bar. Are they right? Let us think together. Is 15 over 30 equal to half? We can divide the numerator and denominator by the same factor. Then 15 over 30, 15 divided by 3 and 30 divided by the same factor, which is 3, will give us 5 over 10. Can we find also a common factor between 5 and 10? Yes, we have 5. 5 divided by 5 and 10 divided by 5. Then it's equal to 1 over 2. Do we have a common factor between 1 and 2? No, we don't. So 1 over 2 is considered the simplest form. But 20 over 45, the common factor between 20 and 45 is 5. So 20 divided by 5 is 4, and 45 divided by 5, it's 9. So do we have a common factor between 4 and 9? No, we don't have. So this is the irreducible fraction for 20 over 45, and it's the simplest form. 4 over 9 is less than 1 over 2. Thus, the two fractions are not equal to half. Simplifying fractions make fractions as small as possible, and it's the simplest and irreducible form. How do we get it? We get it by finding a common factor between the number in the numerator and the number in the denominator. 12 over 18 A common factor between them is 6. So 12 divided by 6, it's 2. 18 divided by 6, it's 3. Then to simplify a fraction, we can either find a common factor between the numerator and the denominator, or by finding the simplest form by only one step, we search for the greatest common divisor or greatest common factor between A and B, the numerator and the denominator. In this way, we reach the simplest form by only one step. An application on what we took, so go and apply page 11, exercise 23, and redo exercise 16, page 100 by simplifying every fraction.